Hello. He says hello too. Huh. How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Gonna pull me a little bit further forward. Do we want him in the background? Ah, getting stuck. All right, from my girl. I see an eye. Make sure you say hello. It's Libby. All right, girlfriend. Where you at? Libby. Oopsie. Wrong one. Do that all the time. Get out. There we go. Alright. Just wait for Libby to get on. There she is. Oh, honey, are you on your phone? If you're on your phone, you have to have your phone in landscape. Otherwise, I can't add you on. Are you on your phone or on your computer, hun? On your laptop. Oh, okay. I don't know how to do it from laptop. I'm not sure I can add you. Are you able to get on your phone? Allow your viewers to request to join you as a guest. Can you request to be brought on camera? Your end? Usually I just get a thing saying, add me, invite on screen. Hey Melissa, how you going? Just waiting for Libby to get on her phone so we can... Oh, there we go. Add. Adding. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Chick, how
There
you
we go.
going? We got there.
It's really funny when you're talking to me because I was like trying to answer you. I'm like, wait, Nicola, can you hear me? Wait, no.
She can't hear me. Are you on your computer or are you on your phone now?
No, I just went on my phone. That's
Okay.
so weird. Hang on, let me just get it. So, oh, there we are. Hey, can you hear me okay, or shall I put my headphones in with my mic?
I can hear you pretty well.
Cool.
It's up to you if you're comfortable with headphones or not. I'm just going to share us. There we go. Cool. So how are you going? How's your weekend been?
Yeah, it's been so good. I started Beautiful You, which is the program that I'm running at the moment this evening, and it's just
Ah,
like
cool.
it's just something Sunday nights. Like most people are like Sunday nights. Ah, shit, Sunday. And I had all the girls messaging me afterwards, being like, "What a way to spend the Sunday!" So yeah, it's been really cool. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Awesome.
How about you?
Yeah, good. I had a great weekend actually. Also self-care
Oh,
and had some really like a great day with getting work done today and just hanging out with my family, being really present and yeah, it's just been beautiful. It's been perfect. Hmm.
nice. That's so yeah.
Yeah. So make sure
So
you jump on.
important.
When you jump on, you say hello, everybody, so we can see. We can always see eyes, but we don't often see names popping up. So make sure you say good day and give us some love. So this is the lovely Libby, Kiwi girl, um,
Hello.
who has been sober for how long now?
Oh my gosh, 2.5 years. Can't believe
Wow,
it.
you haven't had one drink in that long.
Not one drink. Like,
That's incredible.
yeah, 2.5 years ago, if you could tell me that I'd be here sober for 2.5 years and be like, nah, sorry, wrong girl.
So what happened
Yeah.
to lead you to going sober?
Oh my gosh. So much. Like when I think about my whole drinking journey,
Mm.
um, like I don't even know when to start when people ask me this question because it's always like the thing that did it. I'll keep it easy. The thing that did it was waking up in hospital after another night out, and it was a Friday night that I'd gone out and ended up in hospital. I yeah just had too much to drink, jumped out of a building, and like just yeah. Anyway, woke up. Um, that was on the Friday night. So Saturday morning, that was like the moment that I knew that I just couldn't go on. And
The
it
catalyst.
wasn't like that was the final thing that made me realize like alcohol doesn't serve me. Like alcohol, me, we don't work. And it was the Monday before that. It had been a public holiday here. And I'd had a massive day out rather. It was there was cricket on and I'd gone with a friend to watch the cricket at 11 a.m. on the Monday,
Yeah.
and my partner was driving around the city looking for me at 5 a.m. the next morning, Tuesday morning, and he found me like literally walking around with my shoes, like lost everything. The clubs had all closed, and then I promised I was like, right, I won't drink until the Wine and Food Festival, which was in 6 weeks' time.
Mm.
And then come Friday, I was with a work friend and it had been a stressful day. So we were like, let's just go out and have a glass of wine. Like one glass won't hurt. And for me, it was never just one glass. One
Yeah.
glass was 20 plus tequila. And like, it was just, yeah, it just wasn't, didn't work for me. And that was over a period of like probably 5 years. I knew that I couldn't drink properly. Like I knew that was never just one.
So you
And
just didn't have an off switch.
nah, no off switch. As soon as I had one, yeah, I just wanted to keep going. Didn't matter what day it was. As soon like literally going out for one meant going out until I was forced to not be out anymore, or like just forced to stop.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So this Friday night where you woke up in hospital the next morning, it was just like, right, that's it. Got to change.
yeah. And it's I kind of like when I was in the hospital and the nurse had asked me, and my parents had been called, my mum was in the hospital as well, like super embarrassing, like, 25 years old at the time, I was nearly 26,
Mm.
parents been called to hospital because, this was the behavior that most uni students displayed. And it's like, I was still in that uni mindset, but my drinking was actually worse. And the nurse asked me, she was like, what are you going to do about this situation, because this is not normal to end up in hospital after a night drinking. And I
Mm.
literally, like, the words came out of my mouth before I could actually make a decision. And I literally said, I was like, I can never drink again. And as soon as those words came out of my mouth, I knew that that was it. Like, I didn't know how the fuck I was going to do it. And I didn't know what the hell to even do. Like, where did I even start? How
Yeah.
does someone not drink? Like, I didn't know anyone that didn't drink. And yeah, it's just like
So
that
what did you
that
do?
moment of just
How did it all
like,
come about? Like, was it cold turkey? Did you just cut yourself off or?
yeah, yeah, I did. I
Wow.
went home, and luckily, like I say luckily because I'm so grateful that I survived, for one, because I don't know how I survived a two-story fall.
Two
Um,
stories. Holy shit.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe the
yeah,
alcohol made you bounce a bit more than.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, definitely. And so I'm really grateful that one, I survived. Two, I had
Yeah.
concussion, so I literally had to rest. And I literally had to just stay in bed with like no TV, no reading. I did listen to podcasts, like sober podcasts. That there
Mm-hmm.
was one week where I was literally like had to stay in bed because I had concussion, and that was the only way. That's the only way to rest your brain, right? Is to not do anything.
Yeah.
And being in a state where you literally have no escape, because that's what alcohol does, right? Like it's an escapism,
Yeah.
really literally forced me into learning how to do it. And I knew that I had no other option. And that knowing, and just knowing that I didn't want to be this person. I didn't want to live like this. Like, I
You'd
didn't
reached
love
your
myself.
limit.
Yeah, I didn't
Mm.
love myself drunk. I didn't love the things that I did while I was drunk. I couldn't handle the shame and the regret and just those awful, like anxious, depressive thoughts that come after big night. And that was like every weekend. And I really just took a big look at myself and I was like, who am I becoming? Like, this isn't how I want to live my life.
Do you
And
feel it
so,
was like an addiction?
oh,
Like, did you
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
craved going out and drinking and yeah.
yeah. And like all the work that I do now, right? Like I know that an addiction stems from unresolved pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like all addictions, no matter if it's a alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, a purse,
Food,
whatever you're
anything.
through, anything, all stems from unresolved pain. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I guess little did I know that moment of committing, like, and just what it also is, it was a deep sense, like I knew deep within myself that this was what I had to do, and that really, in order to love myself and to become my best person and, be true to myself in the life that I knew that I could live, I didn't have another option. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't enough an option to just go, oh no, I've done 100 days, that's me. Like, no, this is a journey. It's a massive journey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
huge. And especially like so you obviously you still have friends who drink alcohol and I'm assuming that you
yeah,
still socialize with them. So how
yeah.
hard was that? Like the first time you went out and you weren't drinking but you were trying to socialize with people that were.
Yeah, well, it was challenging, but because like that week that I had to rest and do concussion, I'd done a lot of like internal work and a lot of internal healing and lots of like listening to podcasts and writing. Like I very much feel there was a spiritual intervention with all the things that I wrote. Like it's almost
Yeah.
like I wrote myself instructions um, for how to move on and how to continue. And one of the things that really resonated with me in those early days was just taking it 1 hour at a time. And so every time I went out socializing, I would always have a drink in my hand. So I'd always, in fact, the first event I went to was a wine and food festival. It was the same wine and food festival that I said that I wouldn't drink until.
Yeah.
And I had so many Red Bulls because that was the only like non-alcoholic thing that wasn't water on the menu. And
It would have been bouncing off the walls. A better high than
I know.
alcohol.
So, oh, I was like, why am I doing this again? No, and yeah, so it was just like always having a drink in my hand was really helpful because you think of like if you're drinking and you're talking to someone who's not drinking, it automatically makes you feel uncomfortable.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
well, I don't know. For me, it,
You
it
feel
used
like
to when I
you
was,
need to be doing something. Mm.
yeah, yeah, and it's just like fitting in socially. Like everyone wants to know that they're included somehow, and that
Mm.
holding a drink. Like now, I still even do it now. Like it's comfort. Right? Like I've always got like a cup of tea or
Oh my
like
God! Look!
holding.
Look! Hold up your cup. That's fun.
Isn't it gorgeous?
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that we. That's so cool. I love him. He just hangs out with me.
Ah, it's so cool.
It's the same thing. I love it. Cracks me up.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, exactly.
um, I can't remember. Oh yeah, so always holding a drink in my hand and then really just taking it 1 hour at a time. Like I'd go to an event and be like, okay, it's just like say it's like 4 p.m. Everyone's on the wines. I'll just get through this 1 hour, just this one glass of whatever it is, soda and lime, or this one Red Bull, and really like focus on what's actually happening
Hmm.
because you get to a point and I realized what was happening when I was drinking is I wasn't focused on the conversation or the environment or the music or whatever was happening. I was actually focused on how much have I had to drink? Can I go and get my next drink? How much is everyone else drinking? And it became an
Oh,
obsession,
yeah,
which
right.
often happens. yeah, in like addiction, right? Because you're focused on the thing that you're consuming.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so socializing, really just focusing on the event and on the people that you're with and on the conversation and just enjoying yourself and really just taking it 1 hour at a time.
And what
Yeah.
about when like people obviously start getting to that point where they reaching that limit of intoxication? Like, how did you find like being around that? Because I know like I have really low tolerance for drunk people when I'm sober, like really low
Yeah,
tolerance.
yeah. It's I used to try and stay with the night, like if I was out dancing with friends,
Mm.
they'd get to a point and I'd try and be on their level and I would be able to be on their level. Like people would be like, "What are you drinking?" I'm like, "Water." They're like, "No, like you're wasted." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm sober." Um, and but it takes a lot of energy and I got to a point
Yeah.
probably after about a year where maybe not even a year, it was more like oh god, I can't even remember now. Anyway, and got to a point where I would stay until I stopped enjoying myself, and then
Yeah.
as soon as I stop enjoying myself I leave. And I
Yeah.
used to
Cool.
do things as well, like I would drive. Yeah, I'd just drive and then like arrange to pick someone up on the way home. Like for example, maybe a friend was out, another friend was out, and just so I always had an exit plan in case it got awkward to be like, oh, I'm just going to leave because I'm not enjoying myself. Being
Yeah.
like, oh, I've got to go and pick someone up, or half the time, sometimes you just leave and people are so drunk they don't even notice
I
you've
don't even
gone.
know.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone's, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so different, but I think like just having a plan before going and socializing sober is really important,
Yeah.
um, rather than just trying to not drink. And I think knowing why you're doing it as well is really important. Like if
Yeah.
I didn't know why I was sober, I would have caved so many times. Like so many
Mm.
times my friends were like, "Come on, just have one. Like we won't tell anyone."
Ah, right.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah, and yeah, so there's
So
so much to it. Yeah.
the people that you work with, like the other women, do you work with men as well, or just women?
Um, just women at the moment. I have worked with a few men before, but my partner works with men, so he
Oh, okay,
deals
cool.
with
And
things.
is he sober as well?
Yeah, yeah. So that we went sober at the same time. So the
Oh,
night I ended
cool.
up in the
So he
hospital,
supported you.
yeah, his
What a
father
legend.
died. Yeah, he's a rugby player and such a big booze culture in
Yeah.
sport anyway. Like, I mean, same, yeah, Australia and New Zealand, very similar in that. He watched his dad deal with alcoholism and then die from cirrhosis of the liver.
Oh,
And
wow.
so for him, giving up was much easier, I guess. Like he
Yeah.
hasn't been through the struggles, I guess, of like having to actually give up. He was like, "Oh, yay, cool, you're giving up." Oh, yes, like almost like he'd been looking for an excuse to
To give up
go
himself.
sober again. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
cool. So
yeah.
for people who you work with, do they all have a kind of a similar, like, kind of intense story like you do, or is it just kind of anyone who's really just wanting to remove alcohol from their lives?
Mm. Most people that want to remove alcohol have a big reason for it. And
Yeah.
like, it's not like you just wake up one day. Well, a few people wake up and go, alcohol's not serving me anymore. Like the vibration, if you think about like alcohol is like when we're consuming it, the energy in it is so low vibrational. And when we consume it, we're really lowering our own energy frequency. And some people say they don't want to drink anymore, but the people that I help are people that can't just stop. Like some people are able to just go, I'm not going to drink anymore, and it's no big deal. But
Yeah.
when you're drinking because it's an addiction and you're trying to cover something up, you can never just stop drinking. You've actually got to go and heal the things that you were numbing or
Yeah.
running from, which more often than not are actually subconscious and people don't know what they are. So finding out what it is and then
Yeah.
healing it and then doing the work on learning to discover yourself without alcohol because That's
Could be
big.
really,
Like,
yeah, because I imagine a lot of
yeah.
people, like I know I used to, it used to be my personality when I was younger. I was terrified of,
Mm,
I
mm,
didn't love myself, I didn't like myself. So I would
yeah,
use alcohol to make myself feel comfortable in situations and be able to like express and talk even sometimes because I was so afraid. So yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
discovering who you are
And
without it, being able to go into those situations socially and not
yeah,
need a drink.
yeah, yeah. And that's the going into situations beforehand. Like that's what I always say to people. Like make a commitment before you go that you are going to remain sober because it's so easy if you don't do any mental preparation to go into something and you've got everyone offering you drinks and everyone around you drinking. It's so easy to just go, oh yeah, one will
Ah,
be all right.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But being really
And
solid in that, in your decision and really understanding why you're doing it. Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Same with
cool.
same with lots of things, but yeah, especially that.
Yeah, 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 exactly. So aside from like the obvious, what ways has going sober really benefited your life?
Oh my gosh, where hasn't it? Honestly, like I know that sounds really cheesy, but it's funny. The night I gave up drinking, the morning I decided to give up drinking, I was literally like, how am I going to live? Like, what's my life going to look like? It's going to be so boring. Like, all I did was drank and partied, and that was my sense of fun. But like
Yeah.
my relationship with my partner, we actually separated that week because he's just like, I've had enough of your drinking. Like,
Mm.
and then we had a discussion about a week later, and I told him my decision to go sober, and he was like, "Awesome, cool. I'm doing it with you. Like, we're in this together." But that him leaving me was my fourth relationship to break up because of my drinking, and like that's a lot. That's a lot of heartbreaks to experience, and I'm so grateful
Yeah.
that he did break up with me then because I don't know if I would have realized the extent that my drinking had caused on other people.
Yeah.
But sorry,
Oh,
benefits.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking
Sorry.
about that.
Yeah, but so our relationship has never been better. We're now engaged, getting married later this
Congrats.
year, which is exciting. Thank you. Um, but just my relationships with everyone in my life, like my sisters, my parents. I've been present for the people that need me. Like I've not
Mm.
been too busy going out and getting messed up. I like the confidence that I find within myself now is
Mm.
I used to think I was confident, but I wasn't. It was the alcohol that made me confident. But the confidence that I feel now is like me, and that's like nothing can beat that.
Yeah.
And I mean, oh my gosh, like the intuition as well, like just learning to follow my heart. Like I've made so many changes in my career, relationship. I bought a house because I saved so much money from giving up drinking.
Yeah, well,
Um,
God, I imagine like the nights that you were having out were like $200-300 nights, yeah?
why am I
Yeah,
so
yeah. Taking the money.
honestly? Depends on me. That's what I was like.
Yeah.
And, and yeah, and just like you're listening to my heart, like I can literally make a decision now. I'm still indecisive of anything because I want everything, but knowing to like, I can tell between my heart and my head, and like just being in tune with other people, like connecting with other people on a real emotional level that I didn't have access to that depth of myself. And I'm like, we're such deep human beings, aren't we? Like, we
Mm.
all are. We're all so deep. But I think and that's why like I don't go out partying anywhere near as much as I used to. But especially when I first went sober, I tried to maintain the same lifestyle that I had because I didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
Whereas now I've developed like new hobbies and interests, and also the conversations that I had when I was drunk and that people often have when they're drunk are very, very, can often be very surface.
Yeah,
And
superficial.
really
I
superficial,
love you,
and
man. Oh, you're my best mate. Oh, I love you. You know?
so many like numbers on my phone of like new
Yeah.
best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah, and just like the sense of peace. Like I never knew that life wasn't so like life used to be really turbulent, like really
Mm,
extreme, like extreme highs, extreme lows, and I mean we're all humans, so we're all going to have highs and lows. But I didn't realize that crying every weekend, and at least once a week, like heavily, was not normal. And
yeah.
the sense of peace that I feel within myself, because I don't have anything like to be shameful or regretful or remorseful for, is
Yeah.
incredible. It's amazing. And
It's
I
like a
wasn't prepared.
freedom.
It's such a freedom. It's such a freedom,
Mm,
Nicola. And it's like those sorts of things no one tells you about, and no one, like everyone talks about, yes, the health benefits, yes, like you'll reduce your risk of cancer, yes, you'll feel better, yes, you'll look better, yes, you'll sleep better. Those are all true. But that sense of like being so secure within yourself that you don't feel like you need any external source or external
mm.
anything to get you to that place, like it's all accessible within us. And that's probably the best thing is like,
What a gift
yeah,
to give yourself.
yeah, it's like, why would I ever want to go back and drink now? Like now that I've discovered that place that we could all access. And
Mm.
yeah, that's just off the top of my head as well. There's probably loads more benefits that
So
I'll think
really,
of later.
essentially, it's just
Hmm.
it's connected you back to your truth and who you really are and allowed you
Totally.
that space to really step into that in a really powerful way. How
Mm.
amazing.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
And
that's it,
it's
like
just
you don't hear about that stuff. You get told about the physical benefits, the health benefits, but the mental stuff that no one really talks
mm,
about.
mm.
Wow, cool.
No, it's yeah, it's real, it's amazing. And it's yeah, but what's really cool is like everyone has the ability to do that. And
Mm,
what makes me really just like so excited is when the woman that I'm working with and can find that within themselves. And like there's nothing more exciting than seeing someone connect to them true selves. And you would know that in the work that you do, like
yeah.
stepping into your confidence, like
Like especially
yeah,
seeing what
nothing.
they are, like who they are and where they're at when they come to you, and then when you've worked with them for like 3, 6, 9, 12 months, and you just see how much they've grown and stepped into their truth and living authentically. Oh god, it's so rewarding. Hey,
Yeah,
so rewarding.
exactly. It's amazing. And it's
Mm.
I do feel as well like I'm still I know lots more sober people now, like because obviously I've worked with lots of them, but I still am so grateful that I listened to that deep knowing within myself that it was time to give up. Because
Yeah.
what I realized that I think I've been able to do now is because of the way that I lived my life before, like I was the last person on earth that anyone thought would go sober. Last person.
Mm.
Like, and being able to do it, I feel I'm also able to be authentic in helping other people do the same. Like, really, if I can, yeah, absolutely anyone can. And
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It
yeah,
sounds like it sounds like I didn't
yeah,
realize your story. Like that's the first of I've heard your
yeah,
story, and that's amazing.
yeah. I
Absolutely
don't
incredible.
talk about it often, but it's
Mm.
and what was funny and as I went through a grieving process of my relationship with alcohol,
Oh,
because like I've
yeah.
had this really strong relationship from the age of 13 to nearly 26, so nearly 13 years of
Mm.
like my bestie.
Yeah.
And,
Me and my bestie.
and
My
oh, I was like, what am I gonna do? So yeah, so I really so I think like that's as well, like anyone that's listening and is trying to give up and is finding it hard, it is gonna be hard because you will be grieving that relationship that you had with the alcohol. But
Mm.
what's more important is like what has it been that you've been covering up? Um and what can you discover when you start to find who you truly are. Because that's, nothing.
Yeah, how good. So when people
Yeah.
start working with you, do they have to go sober straight away, or is it a gradual thing, or?
It's up to everyone, but I think everyone knows, like up to the individual, but everyone knows within themselves what is going to be right for them.
Yeah, okay.
I choose not to drink because I, I still don't trust myself having one. Like I've got very addictive personality anyway, and having one, and I don't want to. And lots of people that I've worked with have initially said that they'll cut back, and then when they've cut back, they might then go and have a blowout one night because like, oh, if everyone else is, oh, I'll just have one, I'll just have two, I'll just have three, I'll just have four. So
Mm,
I find it easier to just have none. Um, and most actually, yeah, a couple of women have decided to cut back and they've gone from having like 4 or 5 glasses of wine a day, which doesn't sound like much, but you add that up over a
that's a
week or a
lot.
month, it's a
Yeah, that's a
lot.
bottle a day. That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And tried to cut back to one and realized the same thing, that it's easier to have none and also they feel better from having none. Like even if you have
Yeah,
one, you're still drinking alcohol, you're still like alcohol is still a toxin, it's still a poison. And it's like if you're trying to give up, it's like yeah. But I mean some people slow down as well. Like and that's
mm,
how I talk about I go that cigarette eliminating from like
process.
a lot for yeah, it took about a year, but everyone knows within themselves the right way to do it for them that works for
Yeah.
them.
And I
So it's
definitely have to
really
say, like,
yeah.
since having kids and obviously not drinking while I was pregnant, or I had one or
Mm,
two,
mm,
the idea, like for me now, of going out and getting blind, I just is just
mm,
not. No, I'm just not interested in that at all. I love red wine. It's like a little ritual for me, and I do have a few glasses, but I'll have a bottle that'll last me a week if it even gets
yeah,
drunk. And that's what I've figured out is my sweet spot, like I'm comfortable with
yeah,
that. But
yeah,
that whole going out and getting blind is just, I just don't want to do that ever again. It just does not turn me on. And
yeah.
people are like, come on, let's go out and go out dancing. And I'm like, take me out for dinner and give me a glass. Cool. But no, I'm just not interested.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
And
sure
it's
that
all
has a lot
about
to do. So
what
I'm
was
sure that
that?
has a lot to do with, just prioritizing sleep at the end of the day too, and not being wanting to be hungover with kids. But I just that
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
that whole sensation that you get when you that pissed where you're out of control and you're dizzy and you like jump into bed and everything's like turning and
yeah,
just
yeah.
no.
Yeah, and that's like so awesome when people can understand their relationship with alcohol. And it's not just alcohol; it's anything that people can like. When your
Mm,
relationship with something means that you have to rely on that thing, whether it's like relationships is a massive one because when people feel like they need to rely on the person to feel
yes.
themselves, like yeah, whether it's alcohol, cigarettes, like drugs, whatever when it's the relationship and
Mm,
understanding that you can have a positive relationship with alcohol is awesome and like people like so many people have that and that's beautiful and that's incredible and it's yeah if you can do it then do it like
yeah.
and that's the thing as well like I'm not anti alcohol like what does upset me is when binge drinking is promoted like through happy hours and that sort of thing.
Mm,
Um, but I'm not against people drinking whatsoever. And that's it because people often go to like, they sort of look at their drink and if they know me or know who I am, then they like sort of question their own drink. I'm like, it's fine, like, don't worry about it.
I know
Um,
tonight I was like, I think I'll bring on a cup of tea.
uh, you should have put a glass of wine. That would have been ironic. Like I said,
It's
it's the
actually just quite
relationship.
nice.
Yeah, it's the relationship. And when I first went sober as well, I still craved that. Like, I loved watching sport and having a beer. So
Mm,
I would have like non-alcoholic beer, and then if it was like winter, I would have non-alcoholic red wine, and yeah, and all sorts of things. And it's again like
it's just
whatever. Some
breaking
people
it.
say like yeah, some people say that's bad, but I don't know. I think everyone knows their own truth deep down and doing
Yeah.
whatever feels right for them.
And if you're
Mm.
breaking a habit, to go from that extreme to nothing can actually be more detrimental than
Yeah,
gradually breaking it like the way you did. Because if you kind of
yeah,
cut something off like that, the withdrawals, if you're not like prepared
yeah.
for it,
Hmm.
gosh, that could fuck you up even more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's
Mm.
why, yeah, there's so, and that's the medical side as well, as like proper detoxing from something for someone that's like, drinks all
Heavily
day, every day.
addicted. Yeah.
But what I think like, because it's so normal and so, and like, so I lived in Australia for nearly 4 years, and um, like beers in the sun was my favorite pastime, and like Australia is so good for that. And
Yeah.
when I came back to New Zealand, it's funny because I was living in Australia, beers in the sun all the time, moved back to New Zealand where it's cold and no one has beers in the sun. And then, so that was almost like taking something away. And then I took the alcohol away, but I still kept up the lifestyle. And then I started to gradually like change the lifestyle, and it all like, yeah, it just all sort of trying to do it all at once is, it can't, like, it's near impossible. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, literally one thing at a time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So if someone's wanting, so that kind of leads them perfectly to the next question is if someone's actually wanting to, someone who's watching wants to actually kind of step more into that sober life, what are some kind of steps that they can start taking to
Mm.
kind of wean
Um,
into that?
yeah, definitely like understanding why is so important. Like, if you don't know why you're doing it, then it's very hard to stick at it. So
Yeah.
knowing your why is most important, and setting a goal for yourself as well. So I always put like categorize it into three things. So it's like making a commitment to what it is that you want to achieve, making like fully embracing it wholeheartedly, making that commitment to yourself of what it is that you're going to do, and then setting a goal for it. So setting a
Mm-hmm.
really specific goal. For example, if it's like I'm going to do 100 days sober, or 10 days, like God, when I was drinking, I couldn't even do 5 days. So,
Yeah.
10, is it 10 days that you want to do sober? Um, and then the third one, yeah, knowing your why, like when you know why you're doing something. And so for me, it was because I didn't like who I was drunk. I didn't like where I was going to end up if I continued. And I didn't like the shit that I had to deal with the next day because of my drinking. So that
Yeah.
was my why. And when people want to, yeah, do something, knowing the why is big. And also when you're socializing, like have a drink in hand, bring lots, like if you're going to a friend's house or something, I used to stock up on like all sorts of non-alcoholic beverages, like bring too much so that you've always got something delicious to drink, because there's nothing worse than getting somewhere and having to drink like orange juice or water.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and like drink out of if you're trying to stop drinking wine, drinking out of a wine glass, but making it like a kombucha.
Mm.
And then also like asking yourself like, why are you drinking in the first place? Like that's a big one as well, is because so many people it's like distraction. So they're
Yeah.
drinking because
Stress relief. Relax.
stress.
Mm.
And that's a big one as well, is like, is that you want to not drink during the week and only drink at the weekend. And instead of coming home and pouring a glass of wine after work, pour yourself like, what I always have is like water and apple cider vinegar, because the apple cider vinegar gets the same part of the mouth that wine does, and you
Mm.
get to sit and relax, have your wine glass, and all you're really craving is that, like,
Downtime.
just being able to
Yeah.
sit and relax. And is it the relaxing that you want, or is it the glass of wine? So when you're asking
Yeah.
yourself why you want it in the first place, that also helps shift like how you overcome it, or how you start to go sober bit by bit. Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so you've just started a program, Be Beautiful, is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful you. Yeah.
And what is that
It's
about? What is
yeah, it's all about like detoxing from alcohol in order to transform your life and step into your most beautiful self. Like we especially like women, we all have such a deep beauty within us that people, like, so many women I see go through life just not even scratching the surface on what they're capable of. And they use alcohol or drugs to get by life because that's what's being done and that's all they know. And so Beautiful You is all about like transforming someone from the inside out, teaching them, finding out how they can love themselves, finding out what they do love about themselves, and really just stepping into like living their most authentic life, like where you don't need alcohol. When you don't have alcohol, you are your most authentic self, right? Like you've got
Yeah,
nothing to
yeah,
hide
exactly.
behind.
Yeah.
So it's 50 day or 100 day program, just coaching women through that process. And it's rich. It's
Cool.
everything that I learned in the last 2.5 years that I've sort of put into a condensed
The
amount of
package.
time. So
Yeah.
it's pretty intense, but it's awesome. We just had the first one tonight. I'm still buzzing from it.
Cool.
Yeah,
So there's
it's awesome.
still, like, if
Yeah,
someone wanted to jump on board and get amongst it, they can still sign up. Is there still time to, or
yeah,
are the doors
yeah.
closed, or
Yeah,
there's still
no,
time?
they could this week they could jump on. We've
Yep.
had the first one tonight, but it's all recorded, so they could catch up. And yeah, would love to have anyone who's interested on board. Just
All
this
right.
week,
Cool.
any later than that would be too much to catch up on. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'll get you to pop your details in the comment section of this so that anyone who is watching it or may be interested in taking part can reach out to you and have a chat. Um,
Amazing.
yeah. And I know it's late over there, so I'll let you go. This is what, 10:45?
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing an easy morning tomorrow, so it's all
Oh,
right.
nice.
Must
Awesome.
be,
Well,
yeah.
thank you so much for
Thank,
coming and sharing your wisdom with us.
thank you. Thanks
It
for
was really
having
cool
me.
to
Anyone? Yeah,
it was cool to hear
really
your
cool to connect.
story. Mm.
It was awesome. And thank you to everyone who's watching the replay, if you've been jumping on. I know it's not an easy topic to talk about, like it's still very taboo. So for even watching this, yeah, I commend you. Well done.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, that's really cool. Thank you so much, Nicola.
Sorry, hun.
I said thank you. Thanks for
Oh,
having me.
my pleasure. It was lovely. Lovely to chat.
Yeah,
Enjoy the rest of
really
your
nice.
night. I'll see you soon.
Bye, lovely. Oh, you're going to
Bye.
have to get me out of here because I don't know how to leave.
I'll just shut it down. I can't get out. See ya.